So it rained last night a ton. Lightning, thunder, hail, you name it. But then again, that's Moab, so I think we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of mud today. It'd been a really long time since Cindy and I had spent a week in Moab, running around with full doors and a top on, and this is to say nothing about it being a hard top. But on a wet and muddy day like today was sure to be, I think we were more than happy to have both on our brand new Jeep JL Wrangler. To kick off the day, we headed out to one of our favorite trails in Moab, and that would be Metal Masher. It's absolutely gorgeous. As much as I hate the mud, I'm kind of bummed that it rained. You know, you look around, you hear out in Moab afterwards, the soil is so dark, all the trees and bushes are so green, it's beautiful. The first real obstacle on the trail is an optional ledge you can climb, and with a varying degree of difficulty. Easier on the right, and big enough to break things on the left. Trying to play it safe in our new JL Wrangler, I decided to take it on somewhere down the middle. Not quite ready to take any chances, Steph decided to bypass the obstacle, but Ed was all too eager to give it a go, especially being that we got his lockers working again. Ed doesn't look too dirty. He blends right into all the red dirt, whereas we're looking dirtier and dirtier. But what a gorgeous day, yeah?
It is. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Backup camera. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. I can see you guys. The next big obstacle was another optional climb up a tall ledge and with a near vertical face. In a long wheelbase Jeep with shallow breakover angles, it can prove to be a bit of a challenge, but this was something that I've done plenty of times before. Well, so much for that. With 3 strikes, I was out, Cindy was in, and she was all too eager to show me how it's done. Now, passenger, there you go, right there. Turn passenger a little bit. Hang on, let me give it a look. Can you back down just a little bit? Okay, right there. Try to bump it right there. Holy hell. Woo! Well, son of a bitch. Good job. Hoping to redeem myself, I worked my way over to the next big obstacle, and as you can guess, it was another steep climb, up a slick rock face, and one that requires a bit of a bump and a good amount of throttle control to clear. About the hardest thing about it is that it's notorious for grabbing spares on the way up and to the point where it'll do significant damage to your tailgate. Of course, we were running a hitch-mounted Stinger, and so all should be good. Or so I thought anyway.
Yes, you're totally dragging. Yes. And your wheels are off the ground now. You'll need lockers. Can you go forward? There you go. Oh, it did what Tony did?
Tony, it did it to me.
Did it do it to you?
It did it to me. I couldn't go.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. That's a weird feeling, isn't it?
I was on the gas and then like it stopped.
It's throttling. I don't think it's shifting. I think it's throttling. It's like it thinks it's in a skid or something.
Yeah, I literally was starting to go and then it was doing nothing.
Something's wrong. I don't
It was like
think
the
they should
government
do
kicked
that.
in is what it felt like.
Yeah.
I got drifted to the tires.
That's about it, as far as you can go.
Being that I was unable to move forward or back, I reluctantly agreed to break out the strap.
That's good.
Okay, we're good. So that was kind of disappointing. After hearing Tony's incidents about his inability to climb the waterfall?
Waterfall.
Right,
Yeah.
Slide Rock over on Gold Bar Rim. I wasn't sure what was going on, but the exact same thing happened to me here on this climb on Metal Masher. Just when I was trying to give it throttle, it felt like a governor or something kicked in. I had no power. Got halfway up and it just cut out, dropped me back in. I wasn't able to back out because of the Stinger. So fortunately, Tony and Stephanie were able to pull us out. We're good to go again.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to defeat that.
Yes.
Because that can be dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
You have no control.
Yeah.
It takes over. I don't know if you could, while it's doing it, you could shift it into manual, or would it stop?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know. So when you climbed that big ledge, were you in manual?
I was in manual.
Okay, so
I had
didn't
asked
think I was,
you,
yeah, and I specifically said yes.
and I said what gear, and I said second, and you nodded your head, and so I put it in manual second.
Okay, well, damn.
Saving Rock Chucker for another day, we worked our way up the deceptively challenging Mirror Gulch. In spite of its easy appearances, it does require just the right amount of momentum to get yourself up.
Did it again.
Really?
Yeah.
The climb challenge is the last obstacle before reaching the top of the trail, And with multiple ways up, you can make your climb as easy or as hard as you want. Having failed the last 2 big obstacles that I tried taking on, there was only one option for me. Looking for a good challenge himself, Ed decided to try and follow me up.
Good. Okay. Yeah, back down.
Chop it out.
Okay.
Just gonna ask you to tell me about the whole manual shifting thing.
Okay, so the whole manual shift thing, or at least in terms of the transmission, when you're low range, just in drive, there's a weirdness about it when you're trying to give a good solid bump, either up a ledge or a tall climb that requires a little bit more get up and go. For some reason, the transmission just cuts out, or maybe it's the engine that cuts out. It literally feels like a governor kicks in, and you go from going from a high RPM to literally nothing for a brief second, maybe a full second, and then it goes again. But during that time, you lose all control, or at least what it feels like all control, and it got me in a jam. So what I did was I came back, I put it into manual first gear, and gave it a lot of throttle on that last obstacle, and it worked. It didn't cut out, so that's the trick. So if you want to make sure you can get up things, you got to be manually shifted into a gear, and apparently that seems to work.
But that's kind of strange.
I don't know. It was unpleasant. I didn't like the fact that I got stuck back there, but at least we have potentially a solution, and it's better than nothing. At the Metal Masher Overlook. I can see all the way down and across the valley below, and it's awesome.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Out at the lookout, I got a message from my good friend Jim, the owner of Dynatrac, and he had asked if we might be interested in hooking up with him out on the Poison Spider Mesa and to do a photo shoot run. Of course, he didn't need to ask us twice, and that's where we were off to next. Running a little late, we were hoping to meet up with Jim and his crew out on the trail, but as luck would have it, we were able to catch up with them
Radio check.
just as they were leaving the trailhead. best part about being in Moab during the week of EJS is that you never know what you'll come across while you're out on the trail. Just as the rest of us started to make our way up the Z-turns, the wind began to whip up and rain began to fall. Not exactly ideal conditions for a photo shoot, but rather than calling it a day, we decided to sit it out for a bit and with the hopes that the weather would clear. Fortunately for us, the storm blew out about as quickly as it blew in, and in no time at all, we were back at work and on the move again. Just as the sun was starting to hang low in the sky, we arrived at our final destination of the day. Of course, being that I was right next to the wedgie, it was hard not to have a bit of fun flexing our way through it before parking our Jeeps and getting set up for the shoot. So we're standing here in front of Code 1, the JL that broke the internet, standing next to Tony and Jim, the guys responsible for this vehicle. What we want to know is a little bit about it.
This was 2 years in the making, actually. 2 years ago, I was kind of sketching this out because I really am a big fan of the LJ, and I thought it'd be really neat to actually have an LJ kind of JL, if you will, right? That you could actually sleep in the back, go for long journeys, and then still have like big tires and rock crawl and off-road. So that's kind of the starting point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what do we have on this JL anyway?
Well, it's obviously for us, the axles were the big feature part, right? So this has our XD60 front. This is our latest and greatest. It has our new 1550 wheel end on it. It also has a Pro Rock 80 in the back. So this is now what we're calling our Elite package. And this one actually has the wide track version of the Elite package, which, Eddie, you're familiar with that, right?
Absolutely.
We pioneered that actually on your car. So you were the test dummy for that setup. So we're real happy with that. The wider width and the new wheel end for the low scrub radius. And we wanted the tire clearance, so that all fit perfectly with this car. And the JLs are a little wider. The factory wheels are a little bigger. They weren't really scoped out for 42s though, were they, Tony? No. So we kind of pushed the envelope on that.
We definitely
and that was like a must-have. That was something that was a stake in the ground that Tony and Fred put down.
Yeah.
And it's got to be 42s or nothing.
Yeah.
And I said, you sure? That's a lot of rubber. Where are we going to put that?
Is.
And he took some shots even while they were building it, when the car was still on the lift, and rolled that tire up there. And it was like, oh boy, we got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah.
And this was originally a Sport or a Sahara?
That was a Sport.
Yeah, 4-door Sport.
Sport S, yeah. We thought, you know, to start with a nicer car and with all the changes we're going to make, it just didn't seem to make a lot of sense. So we just went with a Sport S.
So how's the engine holding up to all this anyway? Is it able to push these tires? Okay, what gear ratios are you running?
Yeah, we were running 538s, but I'll be honest with you, the superstar on the drivetrain is the transmission. With the 8-speed transmission, it livened up the whole car.
Okay.
And with the 42s, it's still very peppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very peppy.
Tell us a little bit about everything we're looking at in.
Okay, so basically the wrap, right?
Yes.
The wrap is a military wrap from 3M. The fender flares. We wanted to keep the light and the feature of the fender flare. We were, at first, to be honest with you, we wanted to cut it and, you know, just to make those 42s work no matter what it takes. The Q here is such a significant Q that shows that it is a JL, right? So we kept it. So this is straight out of the Mopar's catalog.
Right.
Yeah, and it's really the Rubicon fender flare.
Nice.
So it works well. We have the Fox reservoirs, the 2.5s. Those are their new ones, and they're nice. We have the Mopar rock rail. The Mopar rock rail was cut. I actually cut and recapped it. We have the Method wheels and the Trepadors. Great combination.
In regards to the Fox shocks that I'm looking at right here, did you have to do anything special to make these work out, or are these just factory locations?
Those are factory locations.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we try to keep everything as factory as possible. So we got the Hans Power Pack, the solar panel system right here. So you pull these out from the back end and you could display them, so then they can charge up these power packs. There's two, one on each side. The power pack's intended is to charge and power the fridge. There's a 2-tier level deck here. The intention is, because JL is actually a little bit longer and stretched on the inside, it's cut from here and stretched further than a JK. If you push the front seat forward and you measure from the tailgate to the door, it's roughly 6'1", and you can actually sleep there. And also have storage underneath, where these pop out, and then these here are from ARB, and have your equipment. And if you need your booze stored in a location, we have what is called the booze locker. You hit the switch, and you're not going to see it now because obviously the sunlight, but you could store your whiskey bottle right there with your shot glasses in the back. Having some fun.
Because everyone needs
Because
that.
why not? Right? Because why not? The bumper, Evo, front bumper and rear bumper. It was fantastic for them to come in. Because again, this is a JL, things were a little bit different, so we had to work on it and cut some things.
Is there one thing in particular that you like the most about this build? If you could think of something.
The door. It's the door elimination. So
I knew he was going to say that. It's the truth.
You know, one of the things we wanted to do is we didn't want to have just a built-up JK. You know, we had to distinguish it somehow. And Tony's an LJ guy. I'm an LJ guy. Everybody loves that kind of long body look, 2-door, right? We all talk about that a lot, right? Yeah. So we just had to do that. That was like a must-have. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's my favorite.
It just changes the whole appearance of the car.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
so
came out great. We were eager to see this, and I'm super happy to see it actually.
Thanks.
So great job.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay.
It's an awesome day, even though it rained a bit. Cheers.